So we live in a time of flux. A lot of things are changing. And it seems like we're reinventing our culture. And one of the things that's happening is words are becoming problematic. We're changing words. There's a movement to drop some words out. And one of those, which I'm kind of sad about, is the word master. And mastery is an important word, I think, especially to the spiritual path. The word master actually has a root akin to magnus, which means great. Simply great. And Jesus, as way shower, is the master teacher, the great teacher. In unity, that's who we look to for how to live, for an example of how to live, how to create mastery in our own lives. The difference with unity and with New Thought is that we don't worship Jesus. What we do is we follow Jesus. We pay attention to the teachings of Jesus, not the teachings about Jesus. He simply came to show us the way. That's why we call him the way shower. And so this word mastery, for me, has always been very, very important when I started to really live unity principles and pay attention to the teachings of Jesus. And pay attention to the examples, the things that we may not have always heard about, but kind of reading between the lines in how he lived and the scripture about how he lived and what people are writing about and have written about how he lived. The thing about mastery is it's a high level of being. And I think most of us assume we're not there. And maybe in moments we're not. I'm not always in a place of mastery, and I know when I'm not. And I think most of us know when we're not. And we also know when we are, don't we? We know when we are operating on all cylinders. We know when we are in the zone. We know when we are allowing the best of us to come forth in a moment. And I always have a moment when I just kind of flush when that happens. I have goosebumps all over me. And I know in my head, it's kind of like I'm watching myself like a fly on the wall saying, it's happening. I'm in this place. I'm in this place. It just means I'm fully in the energy of the divine, fully in my energy as divine, which is the same for me because that's where I am in my understanding of God, that God is here as me. And your understanding might be something different, and that's fine, because this is all a journey in this understanding of God and our understanding of how we relate to God and how we are related to God. It took me a long time to get here. So here I am in mid-60s, finally, in this allowing of God as me. And yes, in some moments, I'm not there. But when I am, I recognize that I am in mastery. And the best of me is being expressed. I couldn't find it, but I remember in one of the Conversations with God books, they talked about mastery in Jesus. And they explained that mastery is about doing what's right in every moment. And we mess with words and we think there's right versus wrong. That's not the kind of right I'm talking about. I'm talking about what's best in the moment, not as if there's something less, but that you are at your highest and best in that moment and expressing at your fullest level of divinity, your fullest level of wisdom, love, compassion, harmony, unity, beauty, all those wonderful things, those 12 powers that we learned about the last few months. All of those things you are vibrating as fully as possible when you are in mastery. Jesus did that all the time. He was so fully convicted about his relationship to the Father that he walked with that, he lived from that, he created miracles from that, he spoke from that, he healed from that. He went there always, 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 always. That's mastery. Always there. Always. Always. And it's said in Scripture that Jesus said, what I can do, you can do. And you will do it even better. So we too can be there. That's a lot to wrap your head around. And as I always say, it's probably not to wrap your head around, but to wrap your heart around. Because I can think and rationalize that, intellectualize that, all I want, and none of it matters until I bring it here. Till I bring God as self, God as all things, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, moving through me and as me, and allowing that and being able to be in a moment, every moment, with my arms and my heart out wide. To say, yes, this is me. Yes, this can happen in this moment. Yes, miracles can happen. Yes, I'm a miracle worker. And that we may not be healing people, even though we can, I believe. But yes, we can show up in a moment as love like we've never shown up as love before. We can show up as wisdom in a moment of conflict before us and be wise like we've never been wise before and surprise not only people in the room but ourselves. There are times I've spoken words of wisdom, and as I'm speaking them, often when I'm up here on Sunday mornings, and think, wow, did I just say that? Where'd that come from? But that comes from allowing God is me, to being open to whatever it is Spirit wants to speak through me in a moment and being at peace with it, knowing that it is for my highest and best and the highest and best for everybody within earshot. Just being open and saying, I'm here. Say what you will through me. I am your vessel. I am your vessel. What if every single time you went into a meeting or time with family, time with yourself, you go to work, you go to the store, you run errands, what if before each time you stepped into something you're called to do, no matter how mundane you have said that it is, because nothing's mundane. What if you stepped in fully as the Christ? and said, speak through me. There are a lot of times I didn't know what to do in situations, and I said, just speak through me, and things happened that I couldn't have made happen in my humanity and in my doubt and in my fear. And certainly in desperation. Nothing good happens in desperation. Nothing. And so when I am feeling desperate, I let go and I let God. You know, that let go and let God, sometimes that just feels like, you know, God, are we saying that again? Oof. Ugh. You know, so cliche. Let go, let God, I know. Again. And we roll our eyes. But truly, mastery is about letting go and letting God, and knowing that in each moment there is this presence with you always, guiding you, protecting you, sustaining you, waiting for you to say yes and recognize yourself as that. Mastery. It's important. It's vital to living a full life. I came that you may have life and have it abundantly. We've been given everything in dominion, in our dominion that Laura read about. We have dominion. You don't think you have it? Ask. And it shall be given. Not probably. Not if you prayed enough yesterday enough. Not if you were a good boy or girl yesterday or this morning. But it shall. Ask. Ask, knowing that you have this oneness with the Father, with God, with Spirit, with the universe, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you call it in. One of my best friends calls God George. And she talks to George every day. Doesn't matter what you call it. Doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you call it. And as long as you know that there is no separation between you and George. I am George, George is me. George is with me all the time. I was in a breathwork ritual this past Wednesday night. And during this journey that I had in my head and my heart, I was reminded that God was always with me, even through some childhood trauma. It was interesting how it happened. So there were fans on in the room, and we're laying down, and the facilitator gave us blankets in case we got chilly, but he didn't put them on us right away. They were down at our feet, at the feet of the whatever we were laying on. And so I imagine I started doing something as my eyes are closed. We had headphones on, and I was getting a little bit chilly. But I didn't reach for the blanket because I just wanted to be in the moment, and I didn't want to disturb it by getting up and feeling around for something. And so I just left it alone. And I don't know how much later, as I was laying there and we were going through something, and I was remembering something in my childhood, I lifted my hands and the blanket was over me. The blanket was just there. I never felt it being placed on me. I never felt the facilitator coming near me or around me. It's just all of a sudden I felt the blanket. And the thought immediately was, I've always been there, covering you. That's what I heard in my heart. That's bringing this oneness with the Father from the head to here. Because in that moment, I knew in the very marrow of my being that God is in and through me always, and always had been, even in my most desperate moments. Even in my most desperate moments. That's knowing your oneness. That you can be in a moment of what we call crises. Something's happening. We don't want it to happen. And I remind myself in those moments, because I've been practicing, and I know rationally that I've always been covered, that there's God always in and through and under everything, that presence has always been within me and as me. I know that rationally, but sometimes in a moment of crises, I have to bring it back down here again, and I have to know it. I got to know it here. And the miracle that happens is that I get transformed in that moment. And that's when the goosebumps come up again. That's where the tears well up behind my eyes. And that's that moment of bliss again where I go, oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's mastery in that moment. Mastery is not a hard hitting people over the head with stuff. Mastery is about how we walk through life. It has nothing to do with other people. It has everything to do with your presence. And that presence is coming from within you. It is you. It is you. And the only thing that's happening outside of you is that the people around you are feeling that energy of mastery and conviction about who and what you are. That's what Jesus had. So when he raised his eyes in prayer, what he was doing is reaffirming that relationship with God. And he knew that all things were possible, that whoever he healed would be healed. That the 5,000 were going to be fed. He knew that. But he invoked it. I know that I know that I know. I know that I am one with you. And in this moment, we're creating something. Whatever it is I'm asking for here is going to be given me. As I knock on this door, it's going to open. As I seek something, I will find it. Shall find, shall be given, shall be opened. Meaning it's got to open. It's got to be found. But we got to have that conviction, that single-mindedness. That's our mastery, the single-mindedness that this is truth for me, for life, for this moment. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And things will happen in the moment in your lives that you never thought possible. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. I always go back to this statement I heard Joel Osteen make. It doesn't matter if you ask for $1 or 10 million. It's the same energy, the same conviction. If you ask for $1 and you know that dollar is coming and you have said thank you for it and you are single-minded in that moment, that dollar is right there. But if you ask for 10 million, it's the same thing. But you got to be single-minded. You got to know that you and God are one. And there's no other possibility. It's coming forth because you and your dominion claimed it. We've got to stop acting like we are less than that. Stop looking at yourselves like there's something you need to earn. This is what you are. It's what you always have been, even before you showed up in this physical plane. And here we get to work with it. We get to practice it. Prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation. Jesus was relentless about going into the silence, to taking time away. Went away to the desert for 40 days. 40 days. Some of us can't sit still for 4 minutes. 40 days. Man, that's mastery. You can go by yourself and be with yourself and God for 40 days without losing it. Well, I don't know, maybe you lost it for a minute or two. I have no idea what that looks like because I haven't tried it. I have challenged myself to do a silent weekend soon, and then strive for a week of a silent retreat. And it makes me nervous to think about it. But you don't know till you step into it. You don't know, and that's what life is about. That's what, especially according to Unity Principle, you got to go live it. This is practical Christianity. You got to work it. They're tools. Prayer and meditation. And you work it till it works, right? How many programs say that? You work it till it works. And then the mastery comes. And you'll feel those moments of being the master that you are more often. And pretty soon you won't have to think about it because you'll be walking that life. That will be your presence. That will be what you are. And the world has to shift in order for you. Because when we shift, the world shifts. All humanity shifts. When we rise, all humanity rises. That's the quantum world. Consciousness raising. The journey of mastery is consciousness raising, raising your consciousness to God consciousness. Some people call it the third eye. I invite you to go there. Go there. Try it. Before something you're given to do. You know, those things that we kind of hesitate about. You're like, I'm not ready for this. I had a few of those moments probably about hour and a half ago. Sitting right over there. Yeah. But I knew all I have to do is breathe and be in the moment. And at each moment, no, there's perfection here. Because I'm going to let go and let God. Let God be me in the moment, in every single moment. And in those moments, all is good. All is good. Because all is God. Seek mastery. Know Jesus as the master teacher. Let's remind people about the best of that word, master and mastery, what it was truly meant to be. Be the example. We need examples of mastery now. We need a raising of consciousness now, and each of us is here in this moment, in this time of history, so that we could be masters and heal the world in some way that nobody else can heal it like you. Nobody. Nobody. So step into life in each moment as the masters that you are, with the brilliance, the brightness that you are. Don't be afraid to shine that light as bright as you can. Unapologetically, I want you to shine that light. And watch your life turn around, and watch the lives of those around you turn around, and you will see the world differently. We are all masters. And in each moment that you decide to live your mastery, you are in resurrection. You are in resurrection. Let's take this in a meditation. Just breathe, breathe, breathe. Knowing that with each breath, the breath of life, with a capital L, the breath that is God, that is Spirit, is rising within you. And with each exhale, knowing that this energy that is God is limitless, is infinite. Breathe life out into the world. That infinite goodness with each inhale is traveling through that magnificent body of yours. Every single cell of your body is vibrating with God energy, God space, God love, God substance. That's what you are. That's what you are. Jesus is brother and way shower. Master teacher. But the master teacher walking beside you. Saying yes. Say yes to life. Say yes to who you are. Say yes to love. Say yes to abundance. Be the master you were created to be. Say yes. I have given you dominion over all things. Say yes. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and you will find. You shall find it. Knock. And that door shall open fully. shall overflow into your life. The kingdom of God is within you. You are God in expression. You are love in expression. You are vibrancy in expression. You are goodness in expression. So just breathe. For those of us that were here last week, in our meditation time, we chose a word. We were open to a word and energy that was revealed to us that we are called to express throughout the rest of the year. If you weren't here with us last week, just now, here, ask, what gift, what energy, what energy is for me, am I called to express the rest of this year for my own life and for the lives of those that I come into contact with? What word, what energy? Is it love? Is it faith? Is it vibrancy, harmony, compassion, unity? Just be open, arms wide open. A word, an energy, and perhaps whatever it is that came just kind of effortlessly. Perhaps it makes you nervous. Perhaps you can't believe what popped up. Or perhaps you've known it was there all along and you've hesitated to step fully into it or to even put your toe in those waters. What's coming up for you? Is it strength? Is it wisdom? Is it mastery? Just let yourself be with it. Don't intellectualize it. Don't analyze it. You don't have to know what to do with it. Just let it come. Just a word, an energy, a beingness that is for you, a gift for you and for others, for the world, a journey you will be on. What's that word? Let yourself be with it. And if you're uncomfortable, just say in your heart of hearts, I'm open. I'm open. I'm curious. I'm willing. I'm trusting. This might be a journey of trust. I am trusting in the divine in this moment. And so now we're going to have a ritual. Because when it's always good to take into physical expressions something that we are saying yes to in our minds and our hearts. Something happens when we write things down. And so we have some, we'll call them paper ornaments. And each of us, if you want to, you don't have to participate if you don't. But if you don't want to participate, I just ask that you hold space and be in silence and be in prayer for those who are coming up and putting this into physical expression. And we're going to write our word on an ornament, and then I'm going to bless those who would like to be blessed as that particular word, anoint you with oil, and then you'll take your ornament and hang it on the tree. So the Christmas tree is up because someone inspired me that why should we, after the season of Christmas, give up on the miracle that is Christmas? Because often December 26th, we move on, don't we? We're like, okay, it's done.